Hey everyone, my name is Rokas. I'm a 30-year-old Lithuanian who has begun training martial arts at the age of 14. I was living in a rough area where violence was common, which led me to search for a martial art which would teach me to defend myself and others. To my lack of understanding of what functional martial arts are, I was led to Aikido, a Japanese martial art which promotes itself as a martial art primarily focused on defending yourself and others. Being a peaceful kid, I was charmed by this promise and devoted 14 years of my life to this beautiful looking martial art. Not only did I train it intensively, I also spent 3 years as a live-in Aikido student in a dojo in Switzerland, after which I have opened my own professional Aikido Dojo in Lithuania, which I ran for 7 years. Despite having a successful dojo with hundreds of students, I came to realize that Aikido does not actually work as a martial art for self-defense, and have decided to speak up about it on YouTube. This is when I made my most watched video called Aikido vs MMA, where I put myself up against a professional MMA fighter in a session of sparring to show to everyone that even after a decade of devoted training, Aikido does nothing against a trained fighter. The video was so well received and brought out so many skeletons out of the closet in the Aikido world that I realized it was my calling to further pursue this important subject, as many Aikidoka were still delusioned about the undelivered promise of this martial art. In this pursuit, I've started training functional martial arts such as Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and boxing to better my understanding of what really works, and to clarify the differences between martial arts, combat sports, and self-defense. This led to traveling and filming of many interviews with famous martial arts, combat sports, and self-defense experts in pursuit of truth. While Aikido gave me a lot of food for thought, some incredible personal experiences, and its philosophy shaped my worldview, eventually I realized that it does not satisfy me anymore, what led me to close down my dojo and to devote myself to training mixed martial arts, aka MMA. With some help, soon after I moved to Portland, Oregon for 6 months to train in the world-famous functional martial arts gym known as Straight Last Gym. There I completed a 22-week MMA course known as Rim to Warrior, after which I had my first cage fight. Unfortunately, I've lost by a controversial split decision, yet I realized that it is not something that should stop me. I've made it clear to myself that I will have to fight at least once more in my life to make sure that I would not be stopped by a loss. After this amazing adventure of training MMA in US, I moved back to Europe, where I received a very special invitation to train at another straight-last gym in Ireland, Dublin, led by one of the most famous MMA coaches in the whole world, John Kavanagh. I was unable to say no to such an amazing offer, especially when my focus right now is on preparing for and having a second MMA fight. Today, I'm living in Dublin, and will be spending 3 months of intensive training together with world-level professional MMA fighters, living and breathing mixed martial arts. Will that lead me to my first victory? Who knows? Life is unpredictable. But all I know is that the experience that I will receive here will be life-changing, and that is the best victory in its own. And what will happen next, we will also have to see. Yet right now, this is my martial arts journey.